This time I'm gonna play sitAndGo tournament, and it's gonna be a daily dollar sitAndGo. This is low limit poker, and so it only costs 30 cents to play. The first and second prize you get a ticket to this daily dollar, so you get one tournament dollar for the win of this tournament. And you can if you play a lot of these tournaments, you get one tournament dollar for each. And you can even, if you sign into that tournament, you can remove that from that tournament and get your dollar. So it is a very good tournament to start with and learn to play in tournaments in a good way. Most of the time this kind of tournament will take about 35 minutes or maybe 40 minutes to complete, depending on how tight the table is and tight the player actually are. So I hope this is gonna be not too long gameplay. It's fun to play, and you can get all kind of information on how playing, and you can try your strategies in different part of the game. I used to divide the game in 3 parts. First, in the early stage of the tournament, I play very tight, and I most of the time only play pocket pairs and maybe ace suited with kings, maybe queens, but that's very rare to play. My goal in the beginning is to increase my stack in a safe way, and you can only do that to play in a safe way. For most of the players are playing way to lose, and they play all kind of hands, and they can have luck to hit trips or 2 pairs and that kind. And so what you want to do is to play with pocket pairs, so you can have a chance to hit your trips on the flop and take away the win very easy. This is a hand that I know many people are playing, and it's the button, so they must play them. You should never play an ace with a rag, even if you are on the bottom. Not in these kind of tournaments. You will always be after a flop if you don't hit anything. Even if you hit the ace, you still are in a very bad shape. For anybody can have a better kicker than you. So don't do it. And then you have a risk that even came in overpair on the board, and well, if you hit both of your cards, then your 2 pair is no good anymore, and with an ace with a higher kicker just crush you. So stay away from those hands and only play safe hands for now. Second part in the tournament I call a middle tournament, and that's the part when you have maybe 4 or 5 players left. I try to loosen up and play little more hands like ace suited and maybe king queens on that kind if they are suited. I try not to play unsuited cards, for my goal is still to hit big on the flop like flushes and tricks. That's the mean when you should play against. Straight is okay if you don't get the flush. The last part in the tournament is when you are only 3 players left. It's where it can get tricky to play, for often the blinds are very high and you must understand that you want to win the tournament. You don't play for a third place, even if you get most of the money back for the fees. You still want to win the tournament, and in this kind of tournament, first and second place is a win. So basically you want to outplay one player and try to get not in the way for the action if you don't have cards to play. I still don't play a lot of hands, but sometimes I need to play, and sometimes I do a bluff if I can see other player don't have anything, and then the bluff is okay. Sometimes you can't bluff, for they call everything you play, and it's often a very bad play from them. But on this kind of levels you should get used to bad players and try to win over them instead, and you can't do that on their turn, so you try to play with good cards and good draws and follow the rest. I know many players don't like to play too tight, for it's kind of boring, but the time you spend not to play, you should always look at other players, how they play, so you know when they are weak and when they are strong. Even if the player are good or bad, you can often see that. In this early stage tournament, the chip stack they have don't say anything about how good they are. Most of the time it's actually the bad players that have bigger stacks, for they taken so many chances, and they most of the time just got lucky. So just sit back and enjoy to play, or you can do like me and many other players do, and that is to play on more tables. Then you get more action and you don't get bored. The drawback to play more table is that you get less and less read of the other players. So if you add one more table, you can divide the information you get, and if you add another one, you can divide it one more, and that is gonna raise all the time. So if you play 6, 8 tables, you can just ignore all well, most of the time your read for they are often wrong, and it's very hard to get the read from player. I will show you in another video about software you can use to track how other player have played their hands in the past, and you can actually use that information to play better when you multi-table. If you are only playing one on two play tables, you don't often need that kind of software. In that way, you can use software, but you should train your skills to learn to read players without the software. After you play, you can always save the history in the game and go through all hands that you have played and make corrections in your play later on. Most of the time, the error I make, I go back and look in the history and see what I can do different, and I can say most of the time I do play the right play, and it's basically just bad luck that I lose some hands. But sometimes you must gamble, and for if you don't gamble you will never win tournaments in the end. But in the beginning of the tournaments there is no reason why you should gamble at all. Let's see this. Big stack is $80 here, so I got over $1,000 here, so it's very easy to understand that without being under 10 big blinds, then no reason at all to gamble. Even if you go down to 5 big blinds, you still have a lot of chips to win this tournament. It's the saying that you can win every tournament with $1. Sorry, and it's very true. But if you only have $1 or one big blind, then you need much luck to win. This is kind hand that I like to play. It's a pocket pair, and when all people call, I don't raise anything. I just flat call them, and you can be sure here that someone sitting with the other hands that just waits for others to raise so they can raise you or them. There's no chance that I have the best hand there, so if someone will raise here, I will just fold this hand. Like I said, some people just wait for others to raise, and they just go all in. This is so typical, and I don't know why he has a draw and risk the whole tournament with a draw that you have about maybe 18% chance of winning. It's a bad play. He had over 10 big blinds, so there's no reason to go all in there for me. He gambled and he lost. Well, let's see here. This is a very funny name, for I'm sure that he's a person that do lose a lot, and even if he win here, he yeah, got very lucky. But you can see sometimes on the name what kind of player they are, and even the icons they use tell many times what they are. If you see some hand player with a shark icon, then you can be sure they are not good players. If you are a shark good player, then there's no reason why you should even have that kind of icon that say what you are. And so far I haven't seen many good players use a shark as an icon. Pocket 8. This tournament seems to be a kind of weird tournament, for I haven't got much cards in it, but this is a dream scenario. I really can't lose this hand, and this is what I really like to play. Full house against flush draws and flushes is the best you can get. That's one reason I like to play pairs and stuff, for if you hit the flush you often hit it very hard, and you can take away big stacks. And when you do win that kind of hand, and other players start playing against you, they tend to fold if you make short or small bets, like I did last hand. For it's kind of weird, for if you win a big hand, and then they think you always play big hands, and you can often take away many hands. Yeah, it was a fun hand to win. Like you see now, I'm the ship leader, and I actually haven't played many hands, but the hands I have played have been successful. And this is kind of strategy you need to have in tournaments, that you do play very tight in the beginning and loosen up later on in the tournament. For there's always bad players in the beginning. They playing way too loose and play in very bad spots all the time. So you have to be aware of them and stay away from them when you don't have hands to play with. And if you focus on the strategy to only play with pocket pairs, you win so many times you can't even think about it. You have the person that Trey, I guess his name is, also used strategy to play pocket pairs, and he play a little looser than me, but I guess he's a kinda good player so far, and he's gonna be left to the end if we don't get bad luck. But I don't think he gonna make big mistakes like the other ones. Even he plays tight, but I don't see so much play of him yet. And, I guess Trey and Kosh and me will be the three that's gonna be in the finals for the moment. Now it's 120 in the big blinds, and like you see here, so we have two short stacked here, and let's see how they choose to play. They fold, and that was very curious about why. In this spot I never ever give him the other player a free card if there only one player. I always play back and do a min raise. If he has something he will call, and if he has big hand he will raise all the time. And when you do a small bet like that, you can make it little more, but not much. You often get the information you wanted about their hand, and you save a lot of money in that kind. This was very weird, and I think Trey did a big mistake in that play. He overplayed his pair. He didn't hit anything on the flop, and the turn card was basically a card that destroyed his hand. So he could done a small bet on the turn, on the flop, but after the turn he should have shut down. Well, here you go again. This is how bad chip leader are. They go in with all jank hands just for a short stack, get their chip in, and they lose right away. And now the short stack is not short stack anymore. So the dynamic of the whole list table have changed in a bad way. Most of the time, if you lose a tournament, even if you are in top in this spot, is depends on the ship leaders and the people that has big stacks, what they do with them. Most of the time, if they are good with the ship, they don't throw away the ship they have gained in the whole tournament. But many loose players just ship their stack all the time and lose and maybe win a couple of pots, but most of the time you never see they will win the tournaments. But they do have a big impact on the dynamic of the whole tournament, and not in the big and good way, but in a terrible way. Let's see if we have pocket pairs or something. I know this person will think many times before he will play back on me for like the other hand when he had flush draw and get his flush and he lose anyway with my full house. So every time I play back he will think about that, and he never think I will play hand that is weak. For most of the time when I win, I have the best hand, I have the nuts, and I have crushed many players like that. This hand, most of the time I really don't like play this kind of hands, but well, like I said, that player did play very good in the beginning, but after he made that mistake with the 7, I start to play very bad, and right now he's steaming a lot, and I don't see how he can play anything. This is a very tough spot. He can have a flush, and he can have anything. I will raise here, but if he have ace, I'm gonna lose big in this hand. But like I said before, if he had nuts, then I don't see a reason why he played that bad. And he will probably raise me there more than just 400. He basically gave away information what he had. And, well, we have entered a new stage in this tournament, and basically big ship leader. I got almost twice, no, almost as much ship they all have together. So if he do play good, he will be in the second place in this tournament, and well, let's see. I just sit back and try to play. Let's see what he doing. If he's gonna check raise or sorry. Well, that was a bad card for me. And but if he hits the queen here, he should maybe bet 1,000 or something. But he didn't. I just checked for the value for me to put in a bet there. If he had trips or something and he could make the trap for me, so I just call that bet on the river. just to be sure that I didn't get trapped. I guess my read was right in that hand, and I get the win. You can also see the way he plays is a destructive way to play poker, and he thinks he gonna win with that kind of hand all the time. And it's kind of funny how the dynamic of the tournament change all the time when bad players are playing. For he had a chip lead, and he could just sit back and let other do the job and get this win from this tournament. But he chose to play a lot of hands and play bad hands, like ace with rags, and even go all in with that kind of hand. Short stack and small stack, never play bad against those kind of players. They know they can win a lot from them, so they most of the time wait for a good hand and just put the pressure on them, and they often fall for it. The good part about this spot I have now, that I have the time on my side, and there's no reason for me to play out and try to play against them. I won't most of the time play back to him now, for I know he's gonna just sit back and wait for Kosh rags, like his name, to make mistakes and wait for big hands. So we're gonna see some fireworks sooner or later, and like as usual, when I play back, I know he don't have much, and it's very easy to take down that kind of pots. He don't understand that if he puts a small bet and mean bet, I probably will fold. That's the big mistake some players do, that they just check when they should actually bet, and yeah, they often bet when they should check. So it's time to just sit back and wait. The big blinds is 400 now, and I got way over 10 big blinds, almost 20 big blinds, but both of those are short stacked now and under 10 big blinds. So I can wait and let they play against each other, and that way I don't lose any chip, and I have the benefit to actually win without doing much. And well, now you see that he actually had the hand for the first time in a long time. Actually, I think last hand he had was and they play against me, and I crush in with my full house. I can say more about this tournament. This is how I used to play, and it's kind of tight play in the beginning, and I loosen up in the middle and in the end. But if I be in the end as a ship leader, I tend to tighten up my play and try to get others to play against each other, so they actually bust one of them. And if I have this huge ship lead I had in this tournament, I have so many time that I don't need to play. I can choose the hand I want to play, and I often can play only with good hands. And I can also, when I a big blind, I can put in the raise if they check to me, so I can pick up the pot they don't want. For if they check, I know that they have not much to play with, and they are very afraid that I have good hands like I used to.